Chuck, thank you very much. You mentioned Christina Romer. She's the chair of the President's Council of Economic Advisors. She's also at the White House this morning. Ms. Romer, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Let me just ask you about this idea that's been going around Washington and elsewhere over the last couple of days, that the president and the administration have simply bitten off more than they can chew in the early days of this administration. I know President Obama talked about Abraham Lincoln and all that he tackled while the Civil War was being fought, but the economy is in such dire straits. Does he need to communicate to the American public that for him it is issue number 1, 2, and 3?
I have to say, I think he has communicated that. He's been very clear that getting people back to work is job number 1. I think what he's been very clear about, though, is we also have to think more broadly about the economy. Healthcare, education, energy independence, those are all crucial economic issues. And he said we're dealing with all of the economic issues as we're dealing with the recovery.
It's funny, you use the word broadly, and yet that's become a point of criticism, too, even with Secretary Geithner, who appeared on the talk show in the last couple of days. He admitted that the administration laid out some broad plans for the economy, and yet it seemed as if people in this country were looking for specifics. Would you concede that was a mistake?
I think it's not a mistake. I think what he described very clearly was we're facing a big economic problem. Inherently, the response is complicated. And so we start with the broad principles. What we've seen for the last several weeks is rolling out the details, right? We put out the housing plan, which has very specific details on how that's going to work. Just this week, we rolled out the lending plan joint with the Federal Reserve. That's actually operational. We're starting to get that money flowing. And we're going to keep doing this. We know that we're in the middle of testing our banks to see what they need to get back to work and back to lending for the American people. And when that's done, we'll have the details on how we're going to get the capital that they need into those banks.
Ms. Romer, I believe you said that you think the stimulus plan currently in place could create between 3 and 4 million jobs. That would not quite equal the 4.5 million jobs that have been shed already during this recession. There are some economists suggesting that we're going to need a second stimulus. How do you weigh in on that?
I think the crucial thing to realize is that the stimulus plan is just a part of the comprehensive response. The president loves to talk about his three-legged stool, right, that has the stimulus package, has the housing plan, has the financial rescue plan. Each one of those is important for creating jobs, right? I love Secretary Geithner often says there's more stimulus in financial rescue than in stimulus, because we know if you get banks lending, that helps people to spend and that puts people back to work.
Right.
Likewise, if you help people to refinance, they then don't have as big a house payments and they're able to go out and buy things that'll put their neighbor back to work.
Christina Romer. Ms. Romer, I thank you for your time this morning. Thanks very much.
Great to be here.
It's 7:15. Once again, here's Meredith.